Alright, it's going to be a Hell in a Cell review. I went to the movie theater this time to watch the pay-per-view, and I was fairly impressed, actually. WWE has had two bad pay-per-views in a row. One I had the pleasure to attend, Battleground and then Night of Champions, but they really made it up for this one, and so they should. It was the blow-off pay-per-view for the feuds that they had, and those two pay-per-views prior were just to build up to this one. So I was expecting a semi-decent show, but I was impressed. I was impressed beyond my expectations, and I think everything from top to bottom had a good meaning on it. For the show in general. You talk about the opener. The whole story going into it was the Rhodes family. They didn't really win the titles on their own. They had Big Show kind of doing the main part by knocking out the Shield, and then one Crossroads and the victory. But this triple threat tag match, man, first of all, it was a great match. I would have loved to have been there live, because watching it in the movie theater, people were going nuts for it. People in the building were loving it, and it was a great way to start the show. And the Rhodes brothers won, kind of making their title reign legit. And then you had Big E Langston, who is kind of coming out of, he's becoming his own person now. He was always Dolph Ziggler's lackey, then he was with AJ, and now he's kind of on his own. And what a great way to start than, a decent match with Dean Ambrose. He won the belt, or sorry, he won the match, but he didn't win the belt. It was a great match. And honestly, this pay-per-view was so easy to sit through. Sitting in the movie theater, I had a big gallon of root beer beside me, and there came a point, I didn't want to get up, even though I had to piss. It was like during the Cena Del Rio match. I knew Cena was going to win, but I'm like, man, I got to go to the bathroom, and held it off. But, the only time I really felt the show was dragging was during the time I had to go to the bathroom. But otherwise, I didn't, I wasn't tired. I was able to sit through it. Everything made sense for the most part. Where a lot of Raws and a lot of pay-per-views, I'm kind of walking around, I take breaks, literally I take breaks, I go downstairs, take a walk, and then come back up, and I start wherever the show is on. But this one was easy to sit through, and the only time I got up was the beginning of the Divas title match, which even ended up, the finish was fine. I didn't have a problem with how the match ended. I did think Brie was going to win, but I'm glad they kept it on AJ. And what was another thing? The main event was odd, I guess. Shawn did kick Bryan in the face, but it wasn't quite a heel turn. It was more like, why did you hit my best friend? Now I'm going to kick you in the face. But kicking him in the face kind of led to Randy Orton, who, Shawn Michaels doesn't like, getting the title. But Shawn said he's going to call it down the middle, and that's exactly what he did. Now, it did seem like he was doing a little bit of a slow count for Orton, and I think he pointed that out as well. But for the most part, it was an okay match. I really expected more, and I don't know. There was one, oh yeah, the CM Punk and Ryback match. It was the end of the feud, I would assume, but it really seemed like a very anticlimactic end to whatever they had planned, where it was like Heyman was on the top the whole time. There was no tease of Punk kind of. I thought they would break the cell, and then he would lay out Ryback, and Punk would climb, give Heyman a GTS, and pin Heyman, because I thought that would be the be-all end-all, is ripping Heyman's face off. But all he did was hit him in the back with some kendo stick shots and give him a GTS, and that was supposed Punk's big, his big payback for everything Heyman's done to him, was just a GTS and maybe 13 kendo stick shots. Didn't seem like it really lived up to the expectations, but maybe the feud will go on. But what I got from it was that was it for the feud. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Just overall, I'm gonna make separate videos on what happened, but overall it was a good show and I enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you guys literally in the next video, which is gonna be uploaded in a couple minutes.